Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Amy, that's Katse, and this is Overthink with us. Welcome to episode 2.
Oh, they said we
Dos.
wouldn't do it.
They said we could never. They
They
didn't
said
believe
we'd
in
never
us.
be back.
We said we would
And
never be
here we
back.
are. We are they.
We are they are we.
We have made it to episode 2 somehow, despite
Somehow.
all odds. We're on episode 2, thankfully.
Despite our own demons causing us to
Despite
overthink.
constantly. Yeah, episode 1 was a success. So here we are in episode 2. And we have a lot to talk about today. So it's going to be really jam-packed and interesting. Cool facts.
Cool facts.
Cool
facts.
stories.
One cool story, one probably rage-inducing story, but we'll start off with the rage-inducing first so that we could get that out of the way, let the emotions pile up and be released, and then we'll go into like a little bit more, funsy type of story.
Yeah, we'll end it with a cleanser because
A palate cleanser.
This first topic is gonna be a hard one for the girlies.
It's going to be a tough one for the girls. Alrighty, so I will be kicking off this episode with a TikTok that, well, not really a TikTok. It was just a general thing that kind of blew up everywhere on all social media platforms and had a lot of people having, conversations about this specific event. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to be talking about Harrison Butker, who is the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was asked to give a commencement speech at Benedictine?
Yeah, Benedictine. Fucking stupid ass name. If you ask me. Just right off the bat, I hate the name.
Man,
sorry.
I haven't even got into the good stuff, and she's already.
It's just so enraging. Because it's not the first time he's had a speech there. Like, what? But go ahead.
Okay. Benedictine College, which is a Catholic school in
South Carolina, right?
No, in Kansas. Atkinson. Oh, Atkinson. Sorry, excuse me. Atkinson,
Okay, yeah. Why did I say South Carolina? You're right. Sorry.
So he said a lot of different things during his speech. A commencement speech is basically when, students are graduating, they have a guest speaker there. They chose him. And he had some interesting choice of advice that he wanted to give these young students. So the most popular one is definitely one that he was directing towards the women who were graduating. But before we even get into that, there are other things that he did say in terms of like LGBT, abortion, things like that. So give me 1 second to look at my notes so I could find the specific part.
Yeah, and I've seen obviously like the videos that have been circling like the internet and stuff, but only just like clips here and there. I heard some of the speech, but I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of things that I had no idea. So bear with me if I get even angrier with what you're gonna say.
Yeah, man. Next time I'm gonna
Highlight.
Yeah. Oopsies. So he did make comments about the LGBTQ community. He encouraged graduates to have Catholic pride, but not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it. Which is like, he just sounds so jealous. He's like, why can't we have a whole month for us, the holy ones?
In December, you could have Jesus's birthday. That's about it.
You get one Jesus birthday.
What are you talking about? And Easter, we've got the rising. Like, it's that's so true. Much. Come on. Get out of here.
He wants like a whole month to the Holy Spirit. He takes aim at President Joe Biden for fueling degenerate cultural values, specifically stating, "Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure that many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice." He also goes on to complain about the erosion of traditional Catholic values, saying that abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values and media come from the pervasiveness of disorder. So,
What a random thing to say. I feel
yeah.
like choose
And
a lane, buddy.
choose one struggle, okay, sir.
Right. Choose a struggle. What the heck?
Let me see what else. Not the yeah, pretty much those were his. He also made a comment about like telling men to not, fear their masculinity, to embrace it, even though this like
Oh my
world
god.
is like crashing you down. So
They literally don't need more of that.
they need healthy masculinity, but that's a whole topic of conversation within itself. What he specifically told the women in the audience was, and give me a second to find it. Oh, he was also saying that world leaders were pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America.
But who was?
That world leaders were like pushing
Oh,
dangerous, like like the they then the non-binaries or whatever. I guess like that's what he was
right, right,
making
right.
reference to.
So odd.
I'm trying to find the part where he talks specifically about women. I feel like I lost the page.
I think he used it as a napkin in the first episode.
I think I was wiping my tears with it. Well, he did start talking about women. He's like, "I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have been told the most, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotion and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children that you will bring into this world." And he then
Wow.
goes on
Ew.
to he then goes on to praise his wife, Isabel, saying that she would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. So yeah, he had a lot to say. He really was just like, I need to let it be known where I stand in this. And obviously, needless to say, it got a lot of people riled up in general for good reason. His whole speech was just kind of a little bit limited, shall we say, in perspective. And a lot of people who come to his defense will say, like, well, he's Catholic and he is talking to a Catholic school, to Catholic people, so that he has, the right to say that. He's like speaking to the people this information would naturally make sense to. But someone had pointed out that he had actually made kind of a similar speech at, I think it was Georgia Tech, and that's like a public, college or university. So it's not like it's just like something he generally like wants to go for everyone, not just his own people, which then goes into a belief of like, how much in terms of free speech or whatever, like how much is he allowed to say, or and had people going back and forth on that. But that's pretty much a summary of what happened. I want to go into like your thoughts, and then I'll go into like my own thoughts of what I saw.
Okay. So, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts, but okay. Maybe I don't understand. I'm actually was raised Catholic, not super religious, but was raised Catholic. Uh,
Same.
Not to say
Family is
that this
Catholic
is
as well.
acceptable, right? And not to say that this is like okay at all, but in this like instance of like LGBT or pro-choice views, like I feel like okay, I could understand how a Catholic person that'd be against their religion, whatever. I don't agree with that at all, obviously, but I
It
can
makes
understand how
sense.
that could. to be told to a group of kids who were like graduated from a Catholic school. Fine. But like I don't understand how like you have your vocation as a woman, as a wife and mother. What does that have to do with any religion? Actually, like I don't understand how that is like a religious aspect that he think that's okay. Like how maybe I'm wrong. Explain to me like how that has anything to do with religion.
Yeah, I there's so many aspects about this. So if I want to be good faith, maybe he genuinely like really believes that. Maybe he's had such an amazing experience with his wife and sees the value of having a wife at home who could raise his children, that he really feels like really strongly about it. But again, it lacks an awareness that not everyone can afford that. So even the people who would want to do that can't afford it, especially in this economic state where mostly everyone has to have two incomes coming in. It's just not
Well, he's
realistic.
rich.
Exactly.
Like,
He's rich, which again, perspective, which he didn't have, where he's like, maybe not everyone can afford this lifestyle that I have. And also, second, I find it so weird that people, I've seen this happen so much, assume that the things that work for them or that bring them joy or bring them fulfillment must therefore be the same for everybody else. It's weird to me that everyone assumes, or well, not everyone, but a lot of conservative people, shall we say, assume that the greatest joy or fulfillment that one will have in their life is having, being married and having a child. And it's like, you can't guarantee that. Gun against your
okay,
head, you cannot guarantee that will work for everybody, that will be the case for everybody.
especially like I don't want to hear that coming from like a man. Like I want to hear his wife tell me that, not him
Correct.
tell me
Yes,
that.
yes, 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 yes.
It is not oh, it was good for him that his wife was a wife and was like a stay-at-home mom. Like yeah, I'm sure, but how was it for her? Like
True.
was that might be the lifestyle that he wants. I would really love to hear from his wife, and I don't
Yeah.
know if she has spoken about it or spoken out about the situation.
Not that I could
Um,
find. I try to also see if anything from his mom, because his mom is a medical physicist. Like, homegirl is
what an idiot!
smart. Like, his mom is smart. She
I,
works in
wa-
the
I
department
wonder
of,
if she's religious.
huh? Oh, I
Is
don't
she
know.
religious?
I would
That's interesting.
maybe. I'm not sure.
I
I
would
didn't
say
see that.
no because most scientists like kind of. I mean, I'm just like speculating. Obviously, I don't know, but like it's hard to be like a scientist and also think about religion and things like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's another thing that I found kind of hypocritical, because in the video when he finishes his speech, everyone gets up and gives him like a standing ovation, like, a little
Shocker.
round of applause, and I'm like, okay, if you truly believe that, if you truly at your core as a religious person, and you're like, this is what we have been designed for, our women, our daughters, whatever, then why would you let them get an education? If you think that education is of no value and the true joy that they will feel is the fulfillment of being a wife and a mother, then why are they there? Why
they
are the
w- they
girlies
went to
there? For real.
they went
That's
to
what I
the
don't get.
graduation and they were like, oh, well, true. What am I doing here? Like they'd be like, oh yeah, they waited for some random ass dude to tell him that. Like
Literally. And also, what was he expecting to happen?
money later, yeah.
For the girls to be like, oh my God, damn it. He's right. Let me get out
That
of
was a
here.
it was a college.
Yeah.
They should have had that speech in high school. Don't go to college. What's the point?
That's what
Don't
I'm
waste your money.
That's what I'm saying. Because again, this is why I feel most of the time religious people who say they're religious aren't actually like truly devoted. Because if that was the case, why would why would they allow their daughters, the men who are there, if they truly believe what he's saying, why would they allow their daughters to go get an education? To get an education, if it's pointless, if the true joy they're only ever going to have in their life is being a mother, that's when their life is going to start, right? That's when their true, existence of joy will happen. then why would you let your daughter go get an education in the first place? Why not just end it at high school and be like, okay, mija, go find yourself a good husband. Go do like Bridgerton party levels where people bring their daughters and like, all right, who's gonna court my daughter so she could begin
Right.
her life as a mother? Like, and I'm, I'm saying that kind of sassy, but I also like genuinely like, why not do it that way if you don't believe this is gonna leave your children to their true joy?
Or if the school really thinks and us and everybody really
Correct.
do agree with that, then this is going to be a hot take. Don't let women in. Like, it's a male owned school, a male only
Yeah.
school.
Look, even if I wouldn't agree with it, at least you're walking the walk. At least you're sticking to like what you believe is the true values of your practice, right? But not even
Such
then.
an odd thing to say out loud.
That's what I'm saying. And
Like,
also, like,
to think that.
it's a celebration. People are here. The students there, regardless if you think they made the right choice or not, are there. They worked hard to get where they're at, and it's a moment of celebration, and you're gonna interject like a weird like, yeah, like whatever, good job, but like, you know what true joy is, what true fulfillment is, being a parent. It's like, okay,
Things, which brings
thanks.
us to our perspectives. Like, I didn't go to well, I didn't finish college, and you did, and we're both moms now. Obviously, we have different perspectives in that situation. Like, I just know that you in that room
What about,
have
yeah,
been
no, oh
like,
my
oh,
god, after like, I would like, who the fuck let this guy here? I would
like
have been
that
pissed.
enrages me. It enrages me, and I didn't even finish school. I was never at that stage
That
of
level.
like life, you know. What I mean? So I can only imagine how you feel.
It just, it's weird. Like I just don't get what the whole point of it was, because I've worked hard for something. Some random person comes in and it's just like, yeah, I know you worked hard, but like it was pointless because your true joy in life is going to be when you become a mother. It's like, even if that is true, right? Let's just say that is true. What am I supposed to do with that information? What do you want me to say? It's not going to take away the years of work that I just put into this degree. And it just kind of leaves me like a what it like okay, and like what do you want me to say? It happens to me now because my degree was in fine arts, computer animation, and unfortunately I graduated during literally the like lockdown COVID, so it was very difficult to try to find a job. And so unfortunately I haven't had that opportunity to put my degree at work, kind of now, because I'm doing the editing stuff, so I have some knowledge and stuff. But a lot of times some people, my parents will be like, offhandedly, they don't mean it rudely, but they're just like, well, since your degree was kind of pointless, or what you studied was pointless, kind like I it is. But I understand they're like, they don't mean it like I wasted my time, but like that's how they see it. Like they kind of like, if they could go back in time for me and have me do something else, they would have, just because they would have wanted me to be in the field that I studied. I think that's the biggest thing. They're kind of just like, man, I wish you would have like been able to put your degree to work, and because you're not actively doing what you studied, then it kind of comes off as pointless. But personally, I would not have traded my experience for anything. I loved my time in university.
Would did you ever change your major in college?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just say, like, anyone who's ever been to college will tell you, I went to college for 2 years, did not graduate, changed my major like 5 times. Like, you hardly ever do you, when you go into school, are you like gonna stay focused on that one thing? Like, the point of university, in my opinion, which is probably why I didn't finish, is because it really like gives you a different perspective in life, and different, like, puts you in situations that you were never in as a child. It helps you grow like in other ways than just additionally, like, or like,
Yeah, for sure.
than the knowledge that you like. You're getting more knowledge than the work you're doing in school, in my opinion. Valuable knowledge. So yeah, you're not using your degree or whatever, even though we technically are now, but you gained so much more than. And maybe, I don't know if your parents went to school. I know my parents, like, they did like their certifications and certain, but they didn't have that like college experience that you're saying, and they would probably I would venture to say that they probably feel the same way as your parents because they didn't understand how much like university does for you, like how
Hmm.
much it makes you grow than just like knowledge that you learn.
No, for sure, 100%. I mean, I was going to school in Boca Raton.
Ours, oh,
I
I didn't
ha-
know that. That's for sale. Sorry, that's like an hour and a half.
Dude, well, in order to not, because I had I was leasing a car, and
Mm,
so not to put miles on it, I took the train. So my commute going and coming back was 6 hours in total. Okay.
damn.
And thankfully, I only had to go like twice a week, but I'm doing projects. I'm not like, little packets of like circle A or B or C or D. I'm like really putting in work. And it challenged me. It gave me a depression episode where I literally had to go to my parents and I was like, I need a semester off because something's off with me. I don't feel anything. Like, I have no emotions right now and I don't know what's going
Well,
on.
you should have just quit college and become a mom.
True. You know why I was
Simple, so
depressed?
simple.
You know why I was
So happy
depressed?
you weren't 'cause
Exactly. I wasn't a mommy.
you weren't fulfilling your vocation as a mother and a wife.
Correct. I was failing my own biology, what
Right.
nature intended. But the reality is that I became joyful through the experience because it gave me a level of confidence in myself that I did not have before. I really did not have like that level of like, no, I can do this. I'll figure it out. I figured it out before because I was like failing classes. I was just, I was forced to look within and be like, okay, what's going on? Why am I not succeeding? What am I doing wrong? Like, I really had to sit down with myself and get my shit together in a way I never
Yeah.
had to before. And it was an up and down process. Like, there were semesters where I would go to my bestie, Jean and Ryan, shout out to Jean and Ryan, who like held it down for me. Various times I would go to them, I'm like, guys, maybe I should just be a graphic designer. And like, no, Amy, no, don't do it. You can do this.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You can do this. We believe in you. The friendships, the experience of it, it was just I look back at it fondly and with fulfillment, and I wish I would have gotten a big graduation, a big moment
Yeah.
with my friends to
Right.
celebrate and look at each other and be like, we did it. After, all these years of hard
For
work,
someone to get on the stage and say, fuck your education.
fuck your, yes, I would be like, you're kidding me. Like, now is not the time for that. It just comes off as so rude and condescending and me molesta. It just me
I wonder
molesta.
I wonder how the men felt in the room.
Well, they gave
Like,
him a round of applause, so
how odd though. Like, I feel like, did you not just accomplish everything that that woman next to you accomplished? Like,
yes.
right. How do
Yeah.
you, it's so hypocritical to me because it's like, how can you stand for that but know that all the work that you're so proud of, that you've worked hard for in the last 4 years, 2 years, whatever, that woman next to you did the same thing. If
Mm-hmm.
and then some, because truthfully, you as a man probably had more opportunity in the college experience to like, I don't know, we're second class citizens as women. So like
Literally.
I I feel like if anything it was maybe harder for women to like, we already have
Yeah, and let's not even
the
go into how many women are sometimes mothers, and
in school.
working in school. Like, there's like, I think someone needs to give him a news flash that there's women who are doing it all. I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he doesn't, if he's not aware
Sure.
that there
His
are.
mother, his mom. Girl, what are you
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about?
starting to think like, did he have like mommy issues or something? Because
It's gotta be.
if
And
I
I
want to,
think
if I want to be gracious to him, maybe we don't know anything about his relationship with his mother, or not that I could find online. Maybe his mom was very hardworking and didn't have the time that maybe he would have wanted to, maybe have been more dedicated to them or the house or whatever. And I think that's valid. I think
uh,
I think it's fair to be like, I kind of wish my mom would have made more time for us, which is fine. But again, how you don't have an awareness that goes beyond your own feelings, your own beliefs, and understand that not everyone is going to find that same joy. Uh, and also, there's nuns, right? Nuns dedicate themselves to God. they're married to, I don't know if it's Jesus or God or what, or if they consider it the
For
same.
work. They're workaholics, okay?
They're
That's
work.
a workaholic.
Yeah.
They need a
And so obviously he, what about them? Like they're not mothers. So are you saying
oh
that they're
shit.
not living their true potential, their true joy, yet they're married to God? Like
That's a weird thing to say.
obviously, I don't think when he was saying this speech, he was saying that, for example, people like nuns are of less value, but it goes to show that he has a limited awareness. Because if I am going to say something like the biggest fulfillment someone can have is being a mother, but then I think about these women like nuns who are devoted to God, it doesn't make sense to say that's the biggest fulfillment. It just no conecta. And
I
so
wonder if he misspoke or something, because
he
it's
needed,
just
who is his PR person? That's who you know who I'm mad at more than anybody? His PR team. Who are they?
but he was reading his essay, his speech. Someone
Yes.
proofread that. Someone proofread that and was
Or
like,
maybe he
go
didn't
off.
go off, go off, King.
Like someone reproved that.
Or maybe he just hid it because he's like, no, like, okay, if I was
Oh
his
hell
PR
no.
person, if I was his PR person and he came to me and he's like, hey, listen, I got this speech I want to give. What you think? I'll be like, okay, how badly do you really want to give this message? And he's like, no, I need people to know this is what I believe. I'll be like, okay, let me work it. And for me, in my perspective, I would have told him to been like, okay, get there, congratulate everybody on their hard work, their dedication, tell them that they should be proud of themselves, and let them know, as someone with the career that he has, that it is important to not lose yourself in the hustle and bustle of corporate America, right? You're gonna wanna work a lot of hours because you wanna climb to the top, blah, blah, blah. And then he could say, from my personal experience, my biggest joy and my wife's greatest joy has been being parents, being a family. And so I encourage you guys to build strong relationships, friendships, community, to not lose that in the process of trying to climb the corporate ladder. Something along those lines.
That's still rough though, because like I mean I agree, because the communities, the friendships, because we do lose ourselves sometimes when we're working. I had that experience when I first started working too.
Same.
But like to tell someone in 2024 to encourage them to be parents just feels off to me. I don't know why.
Correct.
That's just, and I'm a mom of two. Like I did
Yeah,
that shit twice.
let's just point out that we're married, we have children. Like
Yeah.
it's not like
I would
we're
never tell someone that. Like it just seems
yeah.
such an odd, there's so
Yes.
many different forms of like what life looks like, what a home looks like,
What
what
joy?
parents look like. If you were so passionate about it as your PR person, I would have been like, just make it a tweet. Like, why are you saying that
Yes.
at
You have a
college?
social media for a reson. Like there's a time and place for these
You're a
things.
goddamn, like, you just won the Super Bowl, bro. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
That's what I'm
It
saying
doesn't make
because,
sense.
and someone pointed out very beautifully, the speech wasn't about the graduates, it's about him.
Yeah, really weird that he would make it personal, which I guess I don't. So many people have done like commencement speeches before. Like he could have just done a little research on what we talk about, because I feel
Yeah,
like
but
he
that's what I'm
was lost
saying.
in what he was saying.
I think he was speaking from just a place of himself. He wasn't thinking about the perspective of others, the lives of others, the values and goals of others. Someone asked for advice, I'm like, that's what worked for me, sis. That
How did
made
your
me
husband feel
happy.
about that,
The what?
or like your dad? Like, how did the men in your life react to that situation?
I haven't had conversations with them about.
You haven't? You should talk to them. I would love to see their perspective on that.
Are you asking me to put my mental health on the line right now? Because I'm not going to do it.
Your
One,
husband, though?
oh, wait, I did tell Juan. Sorry, I did. I kind of mentioned it in passing. And he was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know why he did that. Like, it just kind of in agreement with, like, if he believed that wasn't the time and place, like, that's like a slap in the face type of thing.
Do you feel like your father would agree
I already
as
know
a
how
Hispanic
I already
man?
know how he would phrase it. He would go, "Bueno, this is America." He could say whatever he wants, and maybe that will
Oh
be
God.
the maybe that will be the joy
Oh,
of some women, but he would probably agree that it was not the time and place for that. Something I wanted to bring up with the nuns that I didn't get the chance. This is kind of what their I think it was on Facebook. Their group put out a message of that thing.
That
So this is a statement in response to the 2024 Bennett. I'm not going to say the college name again.
thing.
The Sisters of Mount Saint Scholastica do not believe that Harrison Butker's comments in his 2024 Benedictine College commencement address represents the Catholic liberal arts college that our founders envisioned and in which we have been so invested. Calling him out.
Shit. Yeah.
Instead of promoting unity in our church, our nation, and the world, his comments seem to have fostered division. One of our concerns was the assertion that being a homemaker is the highest calling for a woman. We sisters have dedicated our lives to God and God's people, including the many women whom we have taught and influenced during the past 160 years. These women have made a tremendous difference in the world in their roles as wives and mothers and through their God-given gifts in leadership, scholarship, and their careers. Our community, get him. Dale, cógelo. Cógelo. Our community has taught young women and men not just how to be homemakers in a limited sense, but rather how to make a gospel-centered, compassionate home within themselves where they can welcome others as Christ, empowering them to be the best versions of themselves. We reject a narrow definition of what it means to be Catholic. We are faithful members of the Catholic Church who embrace and promote the values of the gospel, Saint Benedict and Vatican II, and the teachings of Pope Francis. So they're like, get this shit out of our fucking face.
Well, I guess they're educated too. Like if they're like,
and they're not mothers.
Nuns.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but nuns like don't marry, don't have children, like they're married to God.
I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
And yeah, I love that they wrote that. And
but that's good. I didn't know that the school had that. Oh, I take back everything I said about the Benedict University name.
Love you, sisters.
Love you, sis. Just like I didn't know that. I'm glad that they spoke up. I'm glad that they spoke against it because like.
So some last points I want to kind of end on before we go into your very interesting story. I'm excited to hear it. I saw a video of him being interviewed where he was saying that besides football, that his life was pretty empty. That he wasn't passionate about anything, that he just he didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And so there's something there that maybe he's doesn't feel a sense of satisfaction in his life, or maybe he's felt so much joy. He felt unsatisfied in life before, met his wife, and feels very now fulfilled in his own life. And so the road to hell is paved in good intentions. And so maybe he thinks, oh my God, like I've been so fortunate. He does give in his speech that he's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my wife's support.
Yeah.
So, props to him for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So he at least recognized that. So, maybe he just feels so strongly about the joy in his life, which is his family, that he wants other people to have that same joy. But again, road to hell is paved in good intentions. And because you're so blinded by your own beliefs, you kind of, forget others don't share those same beliefs or values or those same desires.
I wonder if he hadn't said any of that other stuff about like the LGBT or like the pro-life, like, or even really just hone on like the conservative religious aspect of his speech, if this portion wouldn't have been taken so seriously, like in this way. Like maybe it would have been taken in a different light, like more like how you're saying, like it would have felt like better intention.
Could be. That's a good point that I didn't think about, because he brought up so many other things that's just kind of
negative.
Yeah, it's what?
Oh wait,
too many negatives. Yeah, I think that's a fair point of like, damn, dude, this is a fucking graduation. Be a little bit more peppy, be a little bit more cheery, like have good vibes. But he was just pointing out all these things that he didn't like. I'm like, not the time and place, bro. Go on a podcast. Like, just go on a
That's what I'm saying.
podcast.
Make it a tweet. You feel so bad about it, make it a tweet. It's like
Exactly.
imagine he was accepting like whatever, he's not an actor, but like an Oscar. And in his Oscar speech, acceptance speech, he's like starts going off about like how pro life is like ruining the world. That's
Well,
such a weird
yeah.
time and place to say that.
Didn't the freaking Kansas City Chiefs, didn't they win? Was
Just
it?
won the Super Bowl.
Yes. So imagine if that was his moment, right? And then someone comes, all the reporters, all of it, like, right? Let's say everyone's just like, yeah, but like, who cares about this? Who cares that you gave years of your life to this? You should just go back and go take care of your family. Like, it would just be
Yeah, be
so
a blue collar
rude.
worker.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh, buddy, this isn't anything. You just kick a ball. Like, I know we're roasting him, but like, I know we're saying that, but I'm only saying it to go against what he says, right? Like, because if, like, we're talking about valuable, what's truly valuable as a man, as a woman, I don't think kicking a ball around is that valuable for anyone in terms of society or
Go be a
whatever.
doctor.
Go be a doctor, like your
Maybe you should
mom,
have focused. Maybe, yeah, maybe you should have done something different in college and like
right?
actually,
But in real
fulfill.
life,
Like,
he has a right to, like, he should celebrate. We would want him to celebrate because he
yeah,
wouldn't have wanted that to have happened to him. He
it's just
ruins
like,
it by being so
yeah,
goddamn negative. He's like, here's the
it just
things I
sucks.
don't like. It's like, this isn't a Dear Diary session. My God, buy yourself a
So
journal.
odd.
Buy yourself a
For
journal.
real.
So yeah, it's just so many elements to it.
Sure.
You know, if we give him grace, he probably really deeply feels so grateful for his family, and that's fine. Just was not the time and place. Was go to next time, sir, go to Twitter. Just
Odd way to say it too.
yeah, and that's just what's the, be aware of the event you're going to. It was a celebration event. You came in about all these like things that you didn't like. It's just lame. It's just lame.
We will definitely update if his mom does say something or like if it ever comes up
For sure, for
because
sure.
I would love to hear. I mean, she probably would never say anything unless they do have a bad relationship. In which case, we're here for the tea because
Yeah, we're here for the family drama.
no, but we're here for the family drama. Yeah, it's a lot.
Now Miss Katse over here is gonna take it away. I'm gonna kick back
Okay, well,
and
now I'm
relax.
overwhelmed because
Now I'm overwhelmed.
this is my notes are so little.
Now I'm overthinking.
Yeah. So I am going to be talking about, or I wanted to talk about just briefly because it's just a little shorts thing of this video that I came across. It's honestly blown up a little bit. It's been like a month now, so we have a little bit of updates, but not the ones we want. I want to talk about the time traveler who was found or seen in the shed of an Airbnb, like down in Florida somewhere. So,
Oh wait, so
just
this is in Florida?
yeah, in
Of
Sarasota,
course,
I think.
of course,
Or
Sarasota.
I'm not sure what part of. I can't figure out what part of Florida, which is sus that we don't know. Kind of wish I would have known, and
True.
you'll see why like towards the end because.
Okay.
There's a couple links here, but basically, if you haven't seen the video, there's this dude. He has an Airbnb, so he doesn't even live in the state. I don't think. Pretty sure he lives like somewhere else, but he has a Ring camera in the backyard of the Airbnb, and it's like facing the backyard. And he has like a shed, and there's like a fence or whatever, and like another shed. That's the backyard. So he gets a notification on his phone saying that there was like movement in the backyard through the camera. And so I don't know if you can see like it live, like a live view and also a recording, and you can like zoom in and like, I mean, fast forward, rewind, whatever. But since he got the notification at that moment, he actually went online and saw the live view, and he saw what was a man coming out of going into his shed.
Okay.
He came through the side fence. He just like walked through. I don't know why the fuck that's not locked, but he like walked through the fence, walked across his yard, and then was kind of like looking around, like looking almost like if he was like kind of being followed. It was giving drug addict. I'm sure. Not really. It wasn't like erratic. It was more like, like
Double
when you're a woman, and you're walking towards your car in the parking lot.
Yeah, and you're like,
do the double take.
you're like monitoring. You're like making sure.
Just right. So what he goes to the shed, and then this kid has like a backpack. He's like a younger dude, and then he goes into the shed, And the guy's like, the fuck? Because he's watching this live and he's like, you could speak through the speaker. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, get out of my fucking yard. Because he thought it was someone like going to, because it was like an Airbnb and nobody was there staying there at the time. He thought that maybe he was there to like rob like the house or whatever. So he panicked because he saw a fucking random dude in his house, and he called 911 and he asked the police to go to the house to see like, yo, why is this guy in my shed? Like fucking weird. The whole time he's on the phone with the cops, or like he's waiting for the cops to arrive at the house, he's watching the footage. And he shows us in the video like the whole time frame of like it never like you
It
never
never
see the guy
cuts.
leave the shed. Yeah, it never cuts. And you never see the guy leave the shed. So obviously the cops show up, the guy should be in the shed. Like obviously he never left. So the cops show up, like a bunch of cops, to be honest, like kind of sus, but whatever. Like, why was so many cops showing up? But I guess they thought it was like a burglary. You know, they took it serious. They went into the yard. They looked. They went into the shed. Nobody was there. I'm immediately starting to cry. Okay, it's just so weird. Like, it's so odd to me because,
Weird
you know,
things
I
make
try
her
to.
cry.
Yeah, I know. It really does. So guy's not there. The dude is like in the camera, like watching through the camera, watching the police like
The
look
dude, he's
around.
probably tripping, man. He's
Now I'm sure he's probably like, did I see a fucking ghost, my dude? Like, was that not a real person? Because how is he not in the shed? By the way, the shed is a laundry room. It's just literally a washer dryer and then like shelves and stuff.
okay.
It has like a really flappy, shitty door that you would totally see if the guy came out. Later in other videos, when he finally is able to go down to Florida, he like investigates the whole. He moves the machine. Like there's no like crawl space or nothing. Like a tunnel or whatever. There was nothing. Um, so the cops were like, "Yo, there's nobody here. Like you're tripping. Bye." So they left, and he sends the footage somehow to the police, and they're like, "Well, that's weird. He's not here. Like I don't know what to tell you." So whatever. He thought that was like super weird. Obviously, you don't just live your life after that. Like he's like going back,
No,
looking at the footage, making
obsessively,
sure,
obsessively.
obsessively
He
looking.
he's probably calling
Yeah,
friends because if that was me, I'd be like, girl, get
you
on
gotta look at
Facetime,
this
right? You
footage.
gotta look at this. You gotta look at this ASAP because something's going on.
I would be booking a fucking flight, to be quite honest, because that
True,
seems
true,
really
true,
odd to
true,
me.
true.
So he's like obsessively looking at the footage, looking at the current footage. Like, is he ever gonna leave? Like, what is he hiding? For a second, he thought like, was he hiding in the machine and they just didn't see? Like, if they didn't go into the machine or something.
That's
Whatever.
true. That's possible.
Yeah. So he's looking at this footage to make sure like that this guy isn't coming out, and all of a sudden, a fucking old man comes out of the shed. That old man never went into the shed. An old man comes out of the shed. He walks out of the shed and he walks across the lawn and he looks at the camera and then he looks back and then he just continues walking. And it's like fucking Sasquatch footage. Like like Bigfoot's like that.
It's like freeze frame. I bet you're wondering how I got here.
I mean, yes, we are.
Actually, yes. That's wild.
So
Okay.
super freaking weird. Like how like this young dude, where did he go? What the fuck? And now like this old man's coming out. Super odd. And then like more people started like looking into the footage and like the side by side of these two men, and they look so similar. It looks like a young version
Version.
of this old man, or like an old man version of the younger guy that was in. So people are speculating that this young dude goes into the shed, time travels with his little backpack because he had a backpack on. I don't know where he goes. And then years later, like in old age, he comes back to the same shed and walks out of the shed as the same man, but older, right?
Makes sense
Pretty
to
weird.
me.
Now,
Makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense to me. That's it. Case closed.
Yeah, that what was the whole point? Yeah, exactly. He time traveled.
Okay, so like my husband says, okay, but like you don't age when you time travel. That doesn't make sense. So that's like something to think about. People have been really debating that situation. Like, do you age when you
Well,
time travel?
we don't know. Depending on maybe the machines, it could be a case of like faulty machine or um maybe limitations of what he's able to do at certain times in his life. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's maybe multiple possibilities as to why young first and then comes out old or whatever.
Yeah, because a lot of people say you don't age, but the what I and my husband got into a screaming match about it because he's like, yeah, you don't age, whatever, like all mansplaining and shit. And I'm like, okay, I was like, I'm crying. Hold on. Do you believe in time travel? Yes, I believe in time travel. So if there is time travel in the future, there's time travel right now. Like right this second, there's time traveling.
Correct.
Like people are time traveling. If in the future it exists and in the past it does, like it's a whole spectrum of time, right? So like just because he went in at a young age, that doesn't mean like at an old age he could have time traveled to this time. It might have not even
Exactly.
been the same instance. Like, you know what I mean?
He could just be, maybe his older self just wants to time travel to that specific spot again for whatever reason.
And it had nothing because if he was time traveling at a young age, that means at an old age,
He could still
whenever
be
that
able
is.
to do it. Exactly.
So here's where it starts to get fucking weird. You
Okay.
didn't know. Do you know what I'm about to say or no?
No, sis.
Do you not know about the story at all?
Girl, I like knew.
Okay.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So this is you're either gonna be like, what? Or like, oh my god. Like, okay, this is where I got like crazy tin hatted.
This.
The Airbnb guy, who by the way is a realtor, he does not do like people were like, oh, this is a hoax, like this is like stage, this is just a father son duo actor situation that he hired, like that's why they look so similar, whatever. So I was like, so many people have looked into like what he does. He's just a realtor. He like whatever, he does like realty stuff. He has Airbnbs. He has nothing to do with like pranking or science fiction or like nothing of that matter. Like so random for this guy to be doing this video, to get
Yeah, makes sense.
likes or whatever. And then some people were like, oh, he's just doing that so that people will go to the Airbnb and stay, like promote the Airbnb because like that's fucking cool. And you and I would do that. Like we would
100%.
totally
We
go.
would fall for it. If this is a
But
scam,
you're
we
like
would fall.
you're like, oh, it's Florida. Like I'll go tomorrow.
We're gonna vacation in Sarasota.
But I don't think it was Arizona, but yeah, it was somewhere in Florida. But in fact, he had to like take the Airbnb out because he's had so many people
That's
like
true.
the death threats and like all that has just been so
Yeah,
like crazy.
and we can't assume. I know in this day and age of social media, we can't assume that everyone is always doing something just for clout. Like there's especially someone
Right.
like him that if he's like a business person and a realtor, he's gonna want to maintain a healthy business. He's not gonna want like
Right.
weirdos.
I would
Like
say this is not good for his business or whatever it is.
exactly.
So whatever, people were looking into that, but there was this one guy who was on TikTok. I forgot. I think it was Maddie Ice, I think was his name. He was just doing like a skit. He's a conspiracy guy, right? He
Love
made
my
a skit like,
conspiracy people.
I know. I like really went into like his profile and like watched his videos. He's like nuts, but like funny. And he made like a little skit making fun of this, like, oh, I have a time traveler in my Airbnb or whatever, making fun of the guy, right? So I made the video making fun of him. And then like he kind of stumbled upon like this crazy conspiracy that he himself made, I guess. Like at first he was clowning on the guy, and now he 100% believe that
It's
that is a
real.
time traveler, that is real. So what he found was they took the photo of the old man and they like reverse image search or whatever
Oh, on
the photo
Google.
of the old guy,
Google.
yeah, to
Yes.
see who, like if there's a
Smart.
dude that looks similar to that guy.
Smart.
And the
Smart.
dude super smart, right? I would have never thought of that.
Big brain.
A bit big brain energy. But so what they came up with was this one dude who looked just like, well, arguably, people say they don't look alike. I say I could see it if it's a different age. Like give that old dude like 15 more years and he
It
probably
looks
would
like
look like
that.
this older dude. Yeah. So it just like depends. He has a lot of similarities to this man. Just so happens that the guy who he looks like, he was like a scholar, like he went to Harvard and like did a lot of like research papers on time traveling.
No jodas. Are you serious?
Yes. So he did like, so before internet what it is, we used to have like blogs. So the dude like what used to do like a lot of research papers on time traveling, and like he like so before the internet there was like before the internet is what it is today, it used to be like a lot of blogs, like a lot of
Oh
research,
yeah, yeah.
like it was very sciencey, like I don't know how to explain it.
Like
Hold
forums and
on.
stuff. Like forums were big.
Exactly, basically like Reddit, but the internet, like if the internet was Reddit,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly what it was
yeah.
like.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
So
yes. Mm-hmm.
he was very much involved in a lot of those things, talking about science, talking about like time traveling, and like the dude was smart. He went to Harvard, whatever. He lived in like Arizona or something. The dude, right? Like the
Okay.
guy who that came up on the research or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he had a house in Florida. In Sarasota. That's why I keep saying Sarasota. So I'm wondering, but it's not the same house, which would have been
Okay.
amazing.
That would have sealed the deal for me. I'm like, I
No, I would have
believe.
been
I
like,
am a
yeah,
believer. Ya. Caso cerrado.
right, exactly. He dicho caso cerrado. But no, he had a house in Florida, which is interesting because like obviously this Airbnb is Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super like out of pocket to think that an old man had a fucking house in Florida, but it is cool to think that he did have like residency here. The only thing that people were like, "Oh, this can't be this guy," is because he died in 2018. So super odd
Not
that he
necessarily.
right
Different timelines, parallel
exactly
universes.
exactly.
What if that's why
So
he's time traveling? Because he's like, fuck.
super
In this universe, I died.
it's so freaking weird because when you go into like so he passed away, obviously he had an obituary like made for him, and there was people who had like comments on the obituary or whatever, and then like some people like cross reference like the Facebook uh there was a post, like a memorial post
Okay.
for this guy,
On like
right, saying
Facebook.
like, oh yeah, on Facebook, like a friend or family had made it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was dated in 2017, even though he died in 2018. It was very odd. Like the
That's
time,
super weird.
like why did that happen? It was like a glitch in the system. Like something
Ooh.
happened where time changed, and but the post did it, or like whatever.
Ooh.
You know what
Like
I
the
mean?
little like what's it called, Mandela effects?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Mandela effect or butterfly effect or whatever. Oh no, Mandela effect. Yeah,
Mandela effect. Yeah, that's so, dude.
it's so weird.
Because
So
if
I
you
don't
would have
know.
told me like, oh, they made that post like a year later, that's like, okay, weird, but it's a year later. Like I already died, but a year
You know,
before,
right?
uh,
Super weird.
spooky.
Telling you, there's no way. Like if I would have today made a posting like rest in peace, Amy,
I would have.
like
I would have been like, what do you
you'd
know
be
that
like,
I
excuse
don't?
me, for
What did
real.
you
You'd be like,
dream?
what do I avoid? What do I avoid right now?
To tell me right now. That's
Yeah, no, no,
super
no.
weird.
Super odd. So that was freaking weird. And I don't know. I feel like he could look similar. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to send you the pictures and stuff. But just like one more thing. This is so stupid. And I'm like, rest in peace, this one dude, because if it's not this guy, we really fucked him up. But when he passed away, he did not have a funeral. He had a celebration of life. So there was no body at the wake or whatever, or at the ceremony. So people
Suspicious.
are like, sus as
Sus.
fuck.
Sus as hell.
Like, no body, did he die?
Uh,
Like, I don't know.
okay, if he's not the time traveler, he definitely faked his own death, moved to another
Right.
country, and changed his name because that's weird.
I don't know. Something's going on with that dude.
Something's going on
So
with that guy.
the guy since then has come to the house and like checked on it and see like that like he moved the machines and all that and whatever. He's like out of fucking loss. He has no idea what happened. Obviously he's going back to like his regular like content, but one thing he did leave us with, which is very interesting, is those videos that he had put up, they've accumulated over 20 million views. It's been on TMZ, it's been on like Yahoo News, like a bunch of stuff. These pictures of this boy, of this man, and this older man, right? Never, not once, over the 20 million people that have seen this, has said, "Oh, I know that guy. Oh, that's Paco from whatever the taco shop."
Ooh, I got
Like,
chills.
how has no one said like, "I know that dude"? You know, everyone is letting
Oh, that's
us
just
live in denial.
Kevin. That's just Kevin. He works at a
Right, that's
bakery.
good. Exactly. Like nobody knows who these two guys are. Let's say they're actors or whatever. Nobody knows them. No
True.
one has brought up anything. There's been no comments or speculation
Yeah.
on who these guys are. It's weird.
Especially
It's
in this
super
day and
odd.
age of like social
Technology,
media and
exactly.
people want it to be insta famous or whatever, so that no one's claiming it is, yeah, it
Also,
definitely adds to the story for sure.
when they reverse image search those pictures, they only found this one dude from the scientist
That
guy, or
just
like the science
very
guy.
weirdly connects all these different
Not,
things.
yeah, but they found that guy, not the true identity of the old dude and young guy. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
It's
they never came
weird.
up. Their Facebook didn't come up. Like that's odd.
That
Super
is.
weird.
No, yeah.
Uh,
Again, at minimum, if these people are not actual time travelers, they're definitely involved in something for sure.
Super sus. Yeah, they're definitely okay. Let's say it's not that, and it's just like drugs or whatever.
Yeah,
Like it was a drug deal or
they're
something.
running from the law
How
or
did I still want to know how they got in and out of the shed? Like it's
true.
still sus to me.
If I was the guy, I would get like, what's the guy from Ghost Hunters? Is it
Oh,
Zach?
that's, oh, I don't remember.
Is it
I don't
Zach?
remember their
Oh,
names.
you know who I'm talking about though. He wears like the tight black t-shirts. It has the spiky black hair.
Oh, I don't
He does
remember.
Ghost Hunters. Okay, I would hire them, or I would hire somebody to like with machines and stuff, or do
Oh,
audio
you're like
recording
the bald guy from from like
from
Hunters.
Taps. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
you think it's like ghost related?
No, but I don't. So
Can't.
for me, energy
Oh yeah, yeah.
can be ghost related, or it cannot be. Like, so some people have theories that ghosts are just beings from other dimensions, that they're not actually dead. You're just talking to someone who's living in a parallel universe, which is like interesting in
Oh
theory.
shit.
Yeah. And
So they're experiencing their ghost phenomenon too, and in
yeah,
their
they
dimension.
probably think
That's
like we're
cool.
ghosts. Yeah, there's this
Yeah.
theory of like we're it's just like another universe, or when you're talking to someone from the past that you think died in the past and that's their ghost, is just that person is living in that time from the past. That, like time is relative, so think everything's kind of happening at the same time. We just see it like
Yeah.
linear, like from, we are babies, then we die or whatever, but everything's kind of happening simultaneously. So I would just bring in like a medium, like a certified medium, someone with many years of experience,
Gotcha.
just to see if there's an energy there. Or maybe he has a ghost there that saw some shit, and the ghost could be like, "Hey, you got a time traveler here, buddy. You got some weird
Oh
dude popping
shit.
out of your washing machine." Imagine if the machine was, if the
The
washing,
time machine.
the time
I love that
machine.
actually. It's like the hot tub time machine.
Yes, he just comes out like with his clothes all white. He's like, "God damn it, every time."
That's so weird too. Like, actually, now that you said that, it reminds me. Like, let's say it was a drug deal, and the guy, like the kid or with the younger guy, went in with the backpack that was drugs or whatever. The old guy didn't come out with the backpack, so like
True.
you would think it was like a transaction or something. It just so happens it was like the very next day or like very close to the day. Like, so odd. It's
Yeah,
just
and also
very
just
odd about
like
that.
the going in, but the kid never coming out is like
So odd,
how
yeah. This is crazy.
it's
Oh my god,
it's
great.
super weird. But yeah,
I mean,
I
I love
mean,
that, but
I do believe time travel is real. We just don't have the technology to be able to do that right now. But if it is
no,
real in the tech,
no.
you think it already, well, true, because if
If time travel exists in the future, it exists right this second.
correct,
That was
correct,
my
correct.
whole argument with my husband.
No, it makes
I
sense.
really
I
think
get you.
so.
I get you. Because if it didn't exist here, then you wouldn't be able to time travel back here.
Right. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. It's cool. I love that. Like, I feel like people always say that, like, "Oh, time travel. Like, one day we'll be able to." Like, no, it's like it's
Already
happening
happening.
right this second.
I
We
wonder
just don't know
what
about it.
I wonder what would be the rules, because I know like within the movies and stuff, you can't meet your past self,
Oh yeah.
or you can't go too far back and kill like a grandparent, because then you're never born or whatever. So what would be the rules? Maybe this guy is illegally time traveling.
So that's what I was gonna say is that even though we might eventually have rules for that situation, there's always been people who break the rules. Like,
Correct.
obviously, like, maybe they're doing some weird shit. I don't know.
And if we connect it back to this person who lived in this timeline and unfortunately
Yeah,
passed, it connects a lot of dots of like maybe
yeah,
he illegally time
I
traveled
don't
to
know.
another dimension, a parallel universe where maybe he killed his double in that
Yeah.
universe.
I just find it so weird that if they are like related or like in any way like connected,
Connected.
like what a coincidence. Or what if any way they're not connected? What a coincidence that that man who showed
Yeah.
up in the Google search
And the person
was a
who
time travel
and the person who
enthusiast.
found him, like what are the odds that that would be connected? Because like if I wanted to
Right.
fake this, like the amount of work I would have to pre-plan would be
Yeah, you'd have to
would
hire a dude who looks like the time traveler guy.
yeah, and then build this whole narrative, this whole story of like, oh, dude actually was studying or was interested in time
Right.
travel and then died, and there's proof that he died. Well, proof in like obituaries and stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
the body wasn't there, so it's just like that's weird. And if I was the realtor, I would not let this go. I wouldn't be able to. I'd be like, this is my life's
Oh,
mission.
yeah,
I
for sure.
cannot
I
let
would
this
be.
go.
I agree. I would be like, oh my god,
I would
like I
be
couldn't, and also I would never
obsessive.
sell the house. I would be like, I
Never.
want it forever.
I would be obsessive. I would live there and be like,
Yeah.
when are you coming back? I have questions.
I wonder if that's gonna ruin his life. Like,
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that could be the case. Because I honestly think sometimes as humans, we're just not ready to experience something so literally out of this world for a little bit and then not continuously get that. Like, imagine such an experience and then that's all you get. It's like, what do you mean?
such a tease. I
Such a
know.
tease. Yeah, it's like, I want to get abducted by no, I actually don't want to get abducted by aliens,
No,
but
no, no, no,
no,
no.
no, no. But the for people, I know I've seen like things of people who were interviewed who were, who claimed to be abducted. That weird feeling of like all the questions, the why, the uncertainties that you're never really gonna know. You go through the craziest experience of your life. You're dropped off back home and like
And no one
what am I
believe
gonna do?
you.
Yeah, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we always think those people are like crazy people, but like, what if that's true?
Oh no, I 100% believe that I believe abductions for sure. I believe that aliens are already here, have been here, have probably
Definitely another
influenced.
episode.
That will for sure be another episode because Lord knows I got a lot of alien stuff up my sleeve as well. But yeah, that was fun. This is interesting. And like Katse said, if there's any other updates in regards to either of our stories, we will address it in the first episode. In the next episode, we will be addressing it. And the next episode is going to be an interesting one. I have a lot of research and things I got to plan for. But we're basically going to be talking about, or well, I'm going to be sharing some stories about people in
Yeah,
Hollywood. P. Diddy, Drake Bell, all these
quite on set.
quiet on set, all these young actresses that were taken advantage of, and that's not even within our generations, the beginnings of Hollywood, the things that Shirley Temple as a child would have to film.
Oh yeah.
Disturbing. Brooke Shields, Drew Barrymore,
Oh shit, yeah.
just a lot of dark stuff. But I think it's definitely worth talking about, not just from like a podcasting ratings, like to get people interested, but just because I just feel like it's really important to we gotta demystify Hollywood. People need to stop worshiping celebrities, stop being obsessed with celebrities, and
I
just
mean, I love that the culture is switching or like
for sure
flipping now on like,
block
the whole
celebrities.
celebrity block list and stuff. So like, I feel like that'd be really interesting to go into. And I don't know a lot about it. I mean, I love Hollywood. I love old Hollywood. Like, it's
Oh,
always such a fascinating. Like,
how much do you know
it's crazy.
about Elvis, girl?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would love to know more. So like, I
You're
definitely am
gonna
very excited about doing this.
yeah, it's good. It's gonna be interesting. So buckle your seatbelts. It's gonna be an interesting ride. So yeah, that is wrapping up our second episode. Yay.
Yes, we
Numero.
did it.
Lo hicimos. We did it. um,
Um,
Find us on different platforms. We are on TikTok. We are on YouTube. We're going to add all the links and handles down below. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. If you watch the full video, what should they leave in the comments?
let's see.
The old man emoji.
Oh my god, yes. Leave an old man emoji down in the comments if you finish the video. um,
Alrighty, y'all. So,
yeah, and don't forget to put on the notification bell too, so that you know when's the next time we post. It should be bi-weekly, hopefully, by
yes.
then.
Alrighty, y'all. That's it for today. Thank you so much for overthinking with us.
Bye.
Bye.